I have indeed seen Shazam, and I actually have shot a review for Shazam. I will have that up at some point, but some things take priority. I've been looking forward to this all week, but Star Wars Celebration is happening right now in Chicago, and this morning we got the first title reveal and trailer for Episode 9. I purposely left the title of the movie out of the title of this video, but I'm assuming if you've clicked on this, you have seen the trailer, you know what the title is. It's Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Which, talking about that title first, there's a lot of things that could mean. Who is that Skywalker? Could it be Rey? I don't think it's Rey, personally. Could it be Kylo Ren? Is it the redemption of Kylo Ren? Are they talking about Luke? Are they talking about Rey? Are they talking about Anakin? More on that later. Personally, I have no idea what it means. I don't have any theory that I subscribe to currently. And at the end of the day, it's just the title. It doesn't dictate whether the movie's gonna be good or bad, but Star Wars titles are still pretty fun to discuss. But now, the main event. There was a whole panel hosted by Stephen Colbert talking about Episode 9. J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy were there. And then it was Anthony Daniels came out with R2-D2. BB-8 came out a little later, and then the whole rest of the cast came out. You had Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Kelly Marie Tran, Eunice Sutamo, I'm probably butchering his name, and a new character whose name I don't remember. Seemed like she was having a pretty good time on stage though. And Billy Dee Williams. How could I forget about Billy Dee Williams? He was the best part of that panel. They all talked about the movie, where their characters are at, what they're looking forward to with this, and finally, at the end of it all, we got our first trailer for Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. And starting out at the beginning of the trailer, it starts and somebody's breathing really heavily, which I guess at this point is just tradition for Star Wars teaser trailers. The Force Awakens trailer started on Jakku with Finn popping up out of the desert, breathing really hard. The Last Jedi trailer started out on Ahch-To. Rey hits the ground, she's breathing really hard. In this one, the breathing starts before the character is even introduced. It just starts and all you hear is which I'm sure in the moment at Celebration, that heavy breathing was pretty much everybody else in the room too. But the camera fades in and you see Rey standing there in the desert, and she's looking off into the distance, looking at something. She has her lightsaber, which I guess is repaired now. I'm interested to see how that happened. And there's dialogue happening on top of all that from Luke, and he basically says, "We've passed on all we know. Thousands of generations of Jedi knowledge is now in you, but this is your fight." Basically just passing the torch. I'm pretty sure that's new dialogue. I don't remember that from The Last Jedi, and I doubt that line would come from Luke in any of the other movies. We know Mark Hamill's in this movie, probably as a Force ghost, but it's cool to hear him talk, even if we don't see him in the trailer. But the way that opening scene of the trailer played out, I loved. It looked like Kylo Ren's ship going towards Rey in the desert. Rey clicks on her lightsaber. She starts running away from it as the TIE fighter is chasing her. Then she does a backflip, and it looks like she's about to saw that ship in half. And then it cuts, and I wanted to see the rest of that. Guess we'll have to wait till the movie. And from there, it's just a montage of cool stuff. They don't give you any big plot points, but what they really give you with this is feel. This feels very Force Awakens-esque, very J.J. Abrams-esque. I think he actually used the same music in this trailer as he did in the last trailer for The Force Awakens. The one where I think you hear Rey saying, like, there's stories about what happened, and then Han goes, "It's true. All of it." I love that shot where it's Kylo Ren and it was a few stormtroopers running through a forest. The sky was all red behind them, and Kylo Ren just pins that guy to the floor. I liked the scene right before that. It's just a ship flying off onto some distant village, planet, something. Just throughout this whole thing, I got a very big sense of adventure. Like, I'm gonna go see things in this movie that I haven't seen before. There's a new droid in this trailer that they also showed at Celebration named Dio, like, you know, Dio. At least that's what I kept thinking. I'm sure it's just gonna be like a D and an O, and that's how you spell his name. Seems like he's gonna be in a lot of this movie. Maybe him and BB-8 will have a fun little friendship. He kind of looks like a Windex bottle. The little megaphone on the top of his head looks like they just spray painted a megaphone white. But there's something about that I really like. The whole Star Wars lived-in universe thing. Everything's all scrappy and rusted. It's all just very tangible. Other big highlights of this trailer, you see somebody holding one of the Battle of Yavin medals. You see Leia hugging Rey. There's a really cool shot where it was like Finn and Poe and 3PO, and they're on some sort of sail barge. I have no idea what's happening, but the action in that scene looked cool. And what I'm really looking forward to in this movie is it looks like for the first time we are going to see Rey and Finn and Poe all together going on the same mission. I don't know what that mission is. I don't know where they're going. But for this trilogy, they are our big three, and we haven't really seen them all interact together. We've seen Finn interact with Rey and Finn interact with Poe. We haven't really seen Poe and Rey interact at all, except for the end of The Last Jedi, for like 2 lines of dialogue. But I'm just really excited that we finally get to see them together throughout what looks like it's going to be the majority of the movie. I think there might be like somewhat of a Return of the Jedi thing where Rey ends up going off and doing her own thing near the end, and it's mainly Finn and Poe and 3PO and BB-8 going off and doing another adventure. But it does look like a lot of this movie is going to have all of them together. And then the last shot of the trailer, let's see, it was Rey, Finn, Poe, Chewie, 3PO, BB-8, D-O, Rose might have been there, I don't remember. But they're all standing on this cliffside and they're staring off into some sort of island in the middle of a really stormy ocean. My first thought was the elephant graveyard from The Lion King. It's got those big pointy ends to it. And then finally, the thing that everybody's talking about, Luke ends the trailer and he says, "No one's ever really gone." The line from The Last Jedi. And then it fades to black. And then you hear it. Well, that was a horrible impression. I apologize for that. But that was the Emperor. That was Sheev Julius Palpatine himself. And then the title comes up, Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. And at that point, there was a great disturbance in the Force and millions of fans screamed in joy. The best part about it though, actually for the first second, I thought that was Snoke and then I realized it was Palpatine. But if there was any doubt that that was Emperor Palpatine, the lights came back up at the presentation and it's just Ian McDermott standing there on the stage. Of course, the crowd is losing their minds. Ian McDermott is laughing and smiling on the stage. Then he holds up his microphone and he just says, "Roll it again." And they roll the trailer again. So now we know Palpatine's coming back, which they did kind of hint at that possibility a little bit in the panel. J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy were talking about our heroes are going up against the biggest evil that they've ever faced. And Stephen Colbert was kind of fishing like, do you want to tell us what that evil is? I don't know what I thought that evil was going to be, but I definitely didn't think it was going to be Palpatine. I was thinking like, okay, Snoke survived somehow as a ghost, or some new evil has risen, or I didn't really think too much into it. What's weird is, I mean, for The Last Jedi, I knew I did not want Palpatine to return. I didn't want him to be the main villain again, but I don't know, something about this trailer made me go, I'm really excited to see Palpatine return as the main villain. For one, anything with Ian McDermott as the Emperor is great, but I feel like there is a good way to do this where you aren't just leaning on the old movies. I feel like there's gonna be a really organic way to do this. I hope that they're able to nail that in this movie. But I love Luke's quote leading into that part, the whole "no one's ever really gone," because when I saw The Last Jedi, you know, it's Luke and he's talking to Leia and he says that scene and you think Han Solo passed away. In more of a meta sense, Carrie Fisher's no longer with us. That's what really hit me when I was first watching The Last Jedi. But now, and you think back to the prequels, and Palpatine's whole thing was trying to figure out how to unlock Darth Plagueis' secret of stopping people from dying, how to cheat death. Did Palpatine unlock that? Is Luke saying no one is ever really gone? Is that because he knows things are coming? In the context of The Last Jedi, I don't think that's what he was hinting to at all, but in this trailer, I think that totally worked. Seeing Palpatine return like this in the movies is something I didn't think I'd ever see. There was a lot of fan theories online about maybe Palpatine's gonna be in The Last Jedi. I was like, no, he's not. And then the same theories came up when Episode 9 started filming. Maybe Palpatine's gonna be in Episode 9, and I was still like, no, that's probably not gonna happen. It just sounded too fan fiction to me. But now that we definitely know that Palpatine is back, and we got a little taste of it in the movie, sort of, and now that I know that I'm on board with that idea, I'm starting to get the feeling that anything is possible in this movie. So another theory that a lot of people were throwing out there about both Episode 8 and Episode 9 is Hayden Christensen showing up. And originally I thought the same thing. No way, it's too fanfiction-y, why would we want Hayden Christensen back? But now seeing that Ian McDermott is in this movie and that they could bring people back, Luke says in the trailer, no one's ever really gone, a part of me now is going, maybe we could see Hayden Christensen return in this movie. I still don't think it's likely, but whereas originally I thought it was like a 5% chance that Hayden Christensen could show up, now I'm at like a 20% chance. Still don't think it's gonna happen, but the possibility seems more real now than ever. And if he is in it, I don't know how that's gonna play out, but maybe that title, The Rise of Skywalker, is somehow referring to Anakin, and maybe we could see Anakin in this movie. Honestly, I don't know how they're gonna explain how Palpatine's in this movie. They could just not explain it. They could just keep it going and say, hey, he survived through the Force. And maybe that's just something we're gonna have to roll with. I would assume they will go into it in some capacity, but it is just really cool seeing Ian McDermott return as the Emperor. And honestly, with Star Wars, I feel like over the last few years, since the Disney era started, there's been a lot of Star Wars. There was a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows. I watched Rebels from start to finish. I actually never reviewed the last season, but I did like it. We got used to a Star Wars movie annually, and Solo, which came out last year, I didn't really like, and a lot of times I actually forget Solo even came out. So to me, it still kind of feels like the last Star Wars movie out in theaters was The Last Jedi, which was a year and a half ago. Also, Star Wars Rebels ended, so I wasn't getting like a weekly Star Wars fix. I haven't really started watching Star Wars Resistance, although I am kind of interested in it. But just something about this, I was like, wow, I haven't thought about Star Wars in a long time, and I'm really excited, and I'm really excited that I get to stand here and start talking about Star Wars again. So yeah, the hype is real. I think this trailer got a lot of people on board, even people that felt a little burned by The Last Jedi. Hopefully all us Star Wars fans can put away any past bitterness, come together, and love The Rise of Skywalker. That's totally not gonna happen, but a guy can dream. I'm looking forward to it. I've liked the sequel trilogy thus far. I'm really curious and excited to see how it closes. So, the new trailer for Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Have you guys seen it? Let me know what you think of it down in the comments. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys liked it, you can click subscribe and check out some of my other videos, and I'll catch you guys next time.